Well, that sucked. We jinxed the crap out of the Nuggets. We'll take ownership of that. We'll tell you why the Nuggets got caught by the Bulls in the worst spot, why it's a teachable moment, and what was up with the bench. All that and more on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, and now the #1 podcast network. Thanks for joining us and making this part of your day. Being an everydayer, making us your first listen, joining us Monday through Friday. We appreciate each and every one of you. The folks that come and say hi at Ball Arena, the folks that hit us from across the vast seas of the world. We appreciate each and every one of you. We're glad to have you guys on board for the highs and the lows like tonight. Tonight's show is brought to you by nobody. That's right. I got nobody on the direct ad spot there. I'm Matt Moore. I'm the senior NBA writer for the Action Network. I write the Denver Dig, which I'm going to have a post up tomorrow about some Denver thoughts. As well as I heard with Paroxysm Substack. I am the co-host of Locked On NBA Daily, which you can catch in the afternoons. Great show. I'm really proud of that show. It's awesome. It's much better than this one, honestly. And you should definitely go check out Locked On NBA Daily. I'm just kidding. I love this show too. The credentialed Nuggets reporter for this is my 14th season.
He's old.
Ryan Blackburn, Mile High Sports, getting old with me.
You
can catch him on the Pickaxe and Roll podcast as well. I could tell you're a little tired tonight, buddy. You were like ready to get home and get done with this one. On tonight's show, we'll talk about the Nuggets loss of the Bulls, what happened, how it happened. First, I'm gonna raise my hand. I'm gonna raise it. It's my bad. I did it. I said that. Now I did screw up the stat. Here's what's funny: is I jinxed them with a fake stat.
Oh.
Because when I said that they were 6-0 versus teams on the altitude back-to-back, I forgot that I had limited that to when teams were favored by more than 4 points, which the Nuggets were tonight. But the overall record in the Jokic era was actually 8-2 coming in this spot. So this is their third loss to teams on the altitude back-to-back. Only 3 times has a team come into Denver on the altitude Utah-Denver back-to-back coming off of overtime. And those teams were 0-2, and now they are 1-2 as the Nuggets lose to the Bulls on Monday night, 130 to 127. We'll talk about it here. So,
Matt, somehow it got worse against the Bulls. They gave up 129 points in each of the 2 games last year, and they gave up 130 tonight.
I wonder, maybe this is just the team that is going to give David Allen. There's always a team that a coach just can't seem to beat, no matter how good his team is. Like every coach has them. Maybe the Bulls are Adelmans. Maybe that's what will be the case.
They didn't have a problem scoring when they actually tried on offense. The problem was it just will continue to be the defense.
So okay, the couple things I'm really interested in the kind of how this breaks down because this was a bad loss. There's no way this not to be a bad loss. You're at home. Bulls have lost 5 in a row. They're on the altitude back to back. Like I thought this was unjinxable. That was one of the reasons I talked about it. Are you superstitious?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I believe in karma. That's for sure. It's one of the reasons why I believe in the jinx. It's something I genuinely believe in, which sucks because I keep feeling like I jinx everything.
I'm very superstitious. I'm incredibly superstitious. But even I thought this was unjinxable because of the spot that they were in. So it's a bad loss. They played like crap defensively. They played badly offensively in spurts. Like I think the overall, they scored 127. I haven't checked the offensive rating. I'm sure it's great, even with the pace. Like the offense wasn't a problem tonight. They scored enough.
Yeah.
The bench scoring was a problem for sure. Yes, no question.
They played the starters a lot.
Yeah, they played the starters a lot, right? And they could, and they're missing a starter. So and it's not like Christian set the world on or Peyton set the world on fire here with 5 points, but it was fine. This was a defensive loss. It was a bad loss. It's a clutch time loss. I am still kind of it's fine. Like, I'm not really fazed by this. There are losses where you're like, oof, maybe we got to reconsider some things. And with this one, I'm just going to like, okay, all right, they lost some stuff to clean. Like, we knew that they were going to have defensive problems from time to time. We knew that the transition offense has been a problem. That's something I definitely want to talk about.
Yeah.
We knew the stretch fives were going to give Jokic trouble. We knew that if they don't execute correctly, we knew that the 3-point gap is a problem if you let it be a problem, which the Nuggets did. As always, with the 3-point thing, we'll just cover this real quickly. Nuggets are 14-36. Bulls are 19-53. They lose the 3-point battle by 5, but they give up 53 attempts. Like, for perspective, ye old Boston Celtics are averaging 46 this year. The Nuggets allowed 7 more than the Celtics average. You can't do that. You just can't.
The combination of that, for what it's worth, they also, like, the Bulls shot 59% from 2-point range. They also got to the free throw line enough, and they didn't turn the ball over. They grabbed offensive rebounds. They did everything against the Nuggets defense tonight, including taking as many threes as the Nuggets have allowed at any point this season. So that's the problem, is that the Nuggets just didn't take anything away. And if you take one thing away tonight, then you probably win. You probably only allow 125 if you take something away, but they took nothing.
Tony says Peyton was atrocious against Giddey. I don't agree.
I don't agree either.
Like, Giddey's really good, guys. I understand all the jokes and everything. Giddey's awesome. And
Adam called him an all-star pregame.
Peyton got over every screen better than Christian typically does, and was contesting and was doing the stuff, and like, Giddey just killed him. Like, he just cooked everybody. In particular, like, he racked up 6 assists, I think in part just because like their internal rotations were so slow. Like, they were just slow all night. Now there's been a vigorous debate.
Actually, by the way, Giddey was a -17 tonight.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't the problem. That's not what you boil this down to. It was like the bench offense coming in on the Bulls and just reaming the Nuggets over and over and over again and spacing the floor like crazy.
So, we do the Jokic thing all the time, and I don't really want to fight about it. So I will try and parse this as closely as possible. It is impossible for someone, even me, to be arrogant enough to suggest that a man that has 36 points, 18 rebounds, 13 assists is a +10, has a steal, 2 blocks, and only 2 turnovers, that he had a bad game. It's impossible. You can't argue it. Like, I concede the point. No amount of me wanting to be like, we shouldn't judge him on box score is ever going to, like, I'm just not going to, even if I'm right, I'm not going to be able to make that argument. So I will not say that Joker played badly tonight. I will say that Joker played below his inconceivably high standard that he himself sets.
Yeah.
And I thought mostly I was confused by a lot of his decision making. Like, I did not like a lot. It is very rare that the shots that he misses, I do not like. It's like, oh, he missed a shot, but that's fine. Like, he's gonna early in the game, sure. But as the game wore on, it felt like he was trying to find something that would work, that would get him there besides like offensive rebound putbacks. And he just couldn't really figure it out. I thought that he was a little too hesitant. I don't mind him for getting a little grifty, because this was yet another game where I am forced to be like, oh my God, why are you guys making me do the poor Nuggets? They don't get any of the calls when they shoot 25 free throws to the Bulls 19, including at the end when they were up and the Nuggets were having to foul. Like, the Nuggets won the free throw battle tonight. But there's that stretch in the third quarter where the officiating was just stupid. Like,
brutal. It's like the Nuggets were playing the right brand of aggressive basketball that you like in order to draw contact and force the issue and force the refs to make the right call. And they refused to do it. It was weird. But like, again, it was not the refs that lost the Nuggets the game. It was the Nuggets that lost the game. And it was the decision-making in a lot of these cases that lost the game. For what it's worth, Matt, I agree. I think on both ends of the floor, I think Jokic's decision-making on the defensive end was really bad. Or on both ends was, okay, offensively, it was subpar. Defensively, it was really bad. I asked the question to him post-game on why they were giving up so many threes. And it felt like, and I also asked him, like, the way I phrased it was, hey, was it part of the scheme? Was it part of the design? Or do you think you were just late on closeouts? And he's like, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of everything. He's not running from the problem that he probably posed in terms of not getting out to the perimeter defensively. He needs to be better on that. And yet, as you mentioned, you can't really be mad at this loss because it's November. It's the first time that they've done this. And you know that when they get serious, this doesn't happen. Like, and this wasn't one where I thought that they brought the right energy.
You're 0-3 on Jinx of the Week because you were going for the 10-game winning streak that everybody really badly wants. I will just continue to tell you, winning streaks are stupid and bad in the NBA. They're stupid and bad.
Yeah.
Losses like this are awesome. They're going to murder the Pelicans.
Yeah.
They're going to murder the Pelicans on Wednesday because of this game.
And if they don't, that is where you can start having indications of like, okay, maybe there is something that we're missing, or maybe there's something that there needs to be a little bit more of.
No, if they lose the Pelicans, I will once again just be like, stuff happens. It will take them losing. It will take a 3-game losing streak for me to be like, okay, something's going on.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think it's fair.
Okay, let's talk about the risk, because you and I were like, why is everybody like asking about the risk? It's fine, blah, blah, blah. And then like he shoots like this tonight.
It's a risk.
Again, much Jinx on the show.
Yeah.
I just can't really tell. Like, I asked about it. I asked Adelman about it. And he was like, it's hurting, but he's going to play through it because he's tough. And the problem I have with this is like, here's what I won't do. If you were somebody that gave Jamal and you were like, look, man, I don't blame Jamal for not playing well. He's hurt. He's banged up. Then you get to do this with Joker and be like, hey, he missed shots. He's hurt. Cool. What you can't do is you can't pick and choose. It can't be when Jamal struggles, he's trash. I don't care if he's hurt. He's out of shape and lazy. And then turn around and be like, oh, poor Jokic is hurt. Like, you got to stay consistent. And that's fine.
Completely fair. And like, fortunately, the Nuggets haven't had that many of these instances like for this season so far. Although, like, not exactly giving Cam Johnson a lot of the benefit of the doubt when he was clearly dealing with stuff too. So it's always interesting to think about. But
Danny Cunningham from Locked On Cavs is hanging out with us. Hey,
Danny's here. Hello, Danny.
Man.
It'll be interesting to see how they respond. Like, this is the first time where their defense really let go of the rope. I thought, where they were not at their tip-top shape in terms of the approach, in terms of the attention to detail on how they're going to combat the game plan. I thought that the Nuggets gave up too many wide open threes, and whether it was a Jokic problem or it was another person rotating out, it clearly was that they weren't on the same page and who or what should have happened. This is where you go to the film, you get mad about the fact that you broke your 7-game winning streak, and you figure it out and you go dominate the Pels.
I thought we liked the decision for Peyton to start. He hits a corner 3 immediately.
Yeah.
Thought he played. I actually just really do think he played pretty well. Now, I think he got a little lit. Like the block was, by the way, the block was freaking incredible.
It was awesome.
I thought he got a little insistent as the game wore on. I think he's in a hard place of one with the contract thing is in the back of your head, but it's also just like go out and make a play versus always defer. And like, that's a really difficult line to walk.
Can I push back on that a little bit? Yeah. Just in terms of the layers that he's trying to apply to this new position. I think that Denver, they drew up a play where he was able to get the first bucket of the game. And then I never noticed them getting him involved for the rest of the game until like the middle of the third quarter, where he grabs a rebound. He looks at Nikola Jokic, who's calling for the ball, and then dribbles the ball up the floor and misses a layup. And it's not necessarily what you would want him to do. But I also think that this is one of those things where, as one of the youngest players on the team, the Nuggets are going to have to continue to find ways to layer him in and be purposeful with that, because too often you find like this is a Christian thing too. Like Christian sometimes will take 2 shots and you're like, where's Christian? Where's the offensive impact? Things like that. Not you specifically, but the royal you for everybody.
I gotta just continue to push back on you on this.
Okay.
Bro, the offense is a wagon. It's perfect.
It's
Who
great.
cares? Like, who cares if Peyton shoots 4 times or 10 times? Who cares?
It's more about the process to me.
But the process is great. They generate the easiest looks in the league.
Did you think the process was good tonight offensively?
Honestly,
I didn't. I thought they went a lot of ISO, a lot of post-ups, a lot of trash shots late in the clock because they wouldn't get into their stuff.
some of that's dictated by how the defense is covering you, though.
And that might be true, especially against this Bulls team, which, again, surprisingly good defensely against the Nuggets pretty much every single time.
You can make perfect the enemy of good with some of this stuff. Do you agree with that?
No, of course. Like, I just think that when you have a new guy in your starting group, it behooves the Nuggets to not play 4-on-5 on offense and to try to, like, because this is for the long haul, right? This is a guy that you think you're going to count on in the playoffs. Do you think they'll be able to count on Peyton in the playoffs from an offensive perspective if they have him play games like this on a consistent basis?
If they score 127 points, yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I just think that we get, I understand, but it's like I feel like we look at the box score and we go, oh, that's a low number. Got to fix that. When it's like, no, like we talk about process. The process is like, what shots did you find in the function of the offense?
Yeah.
And I can't, the numbers are 121 offensive rating tonight.
Pretty good. But honestly, second night of a back-to-back for the Bulls, probably not good enough.
We'll talk about some of the other guys and we'll kind of get into more of this coming up here on Locked On Nuggets. If you are a business owner, here's the truth. SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your teams and simply don't work together. That's not SaaS. That's sad. Software as a disservice. That's why you need Rippling. Rippling is the unified platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools with one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. Everything from onboarding to payroll to IT access runs automatically and perfectly in sync. It's seriously simple to use, gives companies one source of truth for their people, data, and everything they touch. Right now, you can get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/LockedOnNBA. Learn more at rippling.com/LockedOnNBA. That's rippling.com/LockedOnNBA for 6 months free. We're also brought to you today by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this sports season. Whether you're following the NFL, NBA, or both, there's no better time to jump in on the action. If you haven't tried it yet, PrizePicks is the simplest way to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup, and you can play anywhere that PrizePicks operates, including California, Texas, and Georgia. The new Stacks feature is a game changer. You can now pick more on Jokic's threes, points, assists, all in the same lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. We're also brought to you today by Robinhood. Your ambition just met its match. With Robinhood, you play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all in one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. Back here on Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for joining us and making this part of your day. Okay. Let's talk about because Big Honey brings this up. We got to talk about it. The challenge out of bounds that was overturned. It clearly hit Vooch's knees. Okay. So
for what it's worth, we didn't see a good view in the arena of it hitting Vooch's knees. I thought that they made the right call in the arena based off of what we saw there.
So here's my thing. there are literally like 70 cameras they have access to in the arena.
Yeah.
I'm fine if you call it out of bounds. You have to make judgment calls. That's fine. That's why we have the challenge system that I hate. Okay. They took too long giving David Adelman that one. It took them too long to give it to him, which is why Josh Giddey was big mad. And Giddey throwing a tantrum is why they gave Billy Donovan his timeout on the jump ball way too late, because they decided to make up for one stupid call with another stupid call.
It's the Justin Van Dyne experience. Let's go.
Just like how they literally were like, oh no, you can just like clubber the Nuggets all you want, and we're gonna call this and one on a Jalen Smith foul until the Nuggets commit a flagrant foul, and then they're gonna switch it, and then Joker picks up like he draws 3 ticky-tacks, small stuff that were clearly fouls, but like minor things all in a row that they haven't been calling, and the Bulls are like, you haven't called that up. So bad.
It was a brutal night from the officials.
It was a brutal night of officiating. Like, I'm not the guy that complains about this. Don't make me do this.
All
right. With the challenge, there's a lot of reasons I didn't love it. It made more sense after, because my thing was, I was like, wait. Why are you challenging this? Because even if you get possession, there's 38 seconds left on the clock. The Bulls are going to get another possession. But Adelman, to his point, was like, we were going to go 2 for 1. So they were going to draw up an inbound play. They had gotten the call. They were going to draw up an inbounds play, run it before clock by like 30 seconds, give Bulls second shot. If they miss, they got a foul. If they make that one, that gives them the option for the 2 instead of the 3. And then they can play from there. And that makes sense to me.
High risk, high reward, though. Like that's the problem, is that they were without a timeout at the end, and they needed an opportunity to advance the ball. Now, fortunately, there was a foul. Like while Jokic was trying, they were double teaming Jokic, and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But fortunately, like they had an opportunity late. But they probably could have used an opportunity to drop a play.
Sure, but that's in retrospect. But don't you think that with how many teams are just going to go in now, that there's also the possibility of this winding up where they've got 11 seconds to down 3 to get a 3-point shot? Like, I understand it's better to have it, Ryan, but if you think of it from the perspective of if you change it from mine, which I was like, wait, you're only going to get, there's going to be 2 total possessions here no matter what, or 2 or 3 possessions no matter what. Instead of thinking like this switches it from Bulls get 2 possessions, you get 1, to you get 2 possessions, Bulls get 1. That changes it dramatically, I think, in terms of the math there, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. Like it's tough late because everything goes so quickly, and you would like to have an opportunity late to be able to talk about what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to do. And to me, like Denver is at their best when they get to slow it down, when they get to really think, when they get to really process. And like Adelman's always been great at drawing up ATOs. Like they've always had this in their back pocket. So it's just an annoying loss. And like you can BS and moan about it all you want, but like the fact is that this game was lost 26 different ways, not just at the end.
I actually this is great content for us. I like this because it's like great content. If you're gonna lose, this is how I rather it, because it's like, okay, it's a bad loss.
A lot of threads to pull on, huh?
Yeah, it's like a bad loss. But what I love is always like when there's a dichotomy and you have to choose between how you perceive it, because there's 2 ways of looking at this. And one is the Nuggets are now 0-3 in clutch time games. That is deeply concerning. That is like, oh no, what happened to the clutch team that I loved? On the other hand, these are their 3 losses that I will go back through. On the road in the Warriors home opener in overtime. On the road in Portland versus what was one of the stupidest officiating things still stupider than this one, games I've ever seen. And then tonight, where it's like the Nuggets played like crap. The Bulls also had to shoot the lights out to win this game. Like if they do not shoot exactly as well as they did, and God, this was a great night for stick supporters like me and Vinny Benedetto. Love Jalen Smith. Glad he's okay. Hopefully he's not hurt.
Clearly he was okay. He made some shots when he came back in.
Yeah, I hope he's okay tomorrow. But like Jalen Smith was terrific tonight. But like all of these things had to happen for you to lose again in one possession at the end of this game. And so it's like, sure. And I understand this idea of, yeah, but if you can't beat these teams, what about OKC? And I'm just like, look, OKC went to double overtime in their first 2 games of the season. They're without Jalen Williams, right? And OKC is going to look unbeatable. Like, that's what's going to happen is like, at no point have we ever said that the Nuggets are going to be the favorites to win the title. At no point have we ever said that the Nuggets are going to be favored to beat OKC. Yeah. If the Nuggets are going to beat OKC, it's going to be an incredible 6-game series, hopefully fully healthy, in which absolutely where they have to play phenomenal and at their absolute best and get some things to go their way. OKC's margin for error is higher than Denver's.
Yeah.
I would have told you that before this game, and I tell you this after this game. But like your game against the Bulls does not determine how you're going to play against OKC. The same
and it
way
was like that. And you said this, I think, on Sunday night, like yesterday, where Nuggets fans have to remember the 12-game stretch that they had and how amazing that was, and how you win 7 games in a row and you're doing things the right way and you're dominating the third quarter. By the way, wrote about that this morning. That didn't work out that great when Denver lost the third quarter tonight by 10 points? 11 points. They lost the third quarter by 11 points and gave up 40. Sick. But go ahead.
I want to prepare you for the social media experience.
Oh,
I think that a coded message went out to in pluribus to all of the Russ stands, because I was trying to figure out what's going on in the comments, and now it makes sense.
Oh,
I was like, what's going on in the comments? Why is everybody so negative? It's the Russ stands are here.
I was here.
I'm a Russell Westbrook guy. I actually have a good perspective on his career, unlike others. And I will still tell you, they do not need Russell Westbrook. This team does not need him. I'm sorry. They just don't.
They do not.
And I want good things for Russ. I also want to kind of comment on this, which is I want to shut this down, and we won't do a lot of this, but I do think it's important because I do think there's this perspective. Murray was the only starter with a negative plus minus. Jamal Murray was awesome tonight. Awesome. 34 points on 12 of 22 from the field, hit 5 threes, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and I'm pretty sure when we go back and check the numbers, the potential assists are going to far outnumber those. Jamal was terrific tonight and was dragging them. It is not his fault that bench stretch where Tim Hardaway
was clanking. Bruce was clanking.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried to say.
Yeah. Jonas turned it over a couple times. You're 100%. Let's slow the roll on the Tim Hardaway slander until he plays bad for 2 games in a row. How about that?
Well, but also just hey, Tim Hardaway Jr. is a really good veteran who's been awesome. But we were getting to can the Nuggets re-sign Tim Hardaway Jr.? Can they trade Christian Brown and re-sign Tim? And it's yes, so dumb.
They should start Tim over Christian when he comes back.
Right. Yeah. There's legitimately this thought, and that's a thought from crazy people that may or may not be on this podcast. So, I will just say, it's totally good. Now, I've waited until this minute because it's really annoying me this happened in a loss. I'm so mad this happened in a loss. Cam Johnson.
Oh, yes.
Cam finally... And it's not like he lost it. If he lost his minutes, I was just going to be well, it doesn't matter because he lost his minutes. Cam Johnson, 19 points, 6 of 12 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, great defense. He was the only guy I saw making multiple rotations and a plus 13. God, how they lose. Ooh, I'm so mad.
Brutal. It's tough because you're always going to be... This is the Brooklyn Nets experience for Cam Johnson, by the way, playing good in a loss. I think that
that's actually called the Michael Porter Jr. experience.
Oh, my mistake. Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, he won yesterday versus the Wizards. So.
Yeah. Talk about a disaster. Look, Cam played fantastic, and the way that he approached, so first quarter was what it was. second quarter, when he came back in after the bench sucked, he came back in and gave them at least a little bit of something. And like the first shot that he took was a step back off the dribble 2-pointer in the mid range where he didn't really have anywhere to go, but he just put his head down, created something, generated a little bit of space, and hit a tough shot. And it got him going on the rest of the scoring as well. The threes that he was hitting in the second quarter to help them get back into it, everybody in the building was absolutely thrilled. They were through the moon, because he had been struggling, and clearly this was a point of contention for a lot of people that you just want to see the ball go through the net, and it did tonight, and it was really nice to see.
Here's the other thing I'll say about the bench stuff, right? This game got lost in the third quarter. They erased everything that the bench did in that first half.
Correct.
They had it back to a lead at halftime. And I thought they were going to come out and wear them out and it would be done. And credit to the Bulls, man, because that takes a lot for them in that spot. Like, they're a younger team, but even then, that's a tough spot. The Bulls came out and were just like, nope, we're going right back to work on you. And the Nuggets played like they thought that the Bulls would just give it up. And they didn't. There may be something to this with the whole, let's try and push pace at home thing versus teams that have pace. That might be an issue. The transition offense is a problem.
Yeah.
That's the one area that I keep circling and being like, huh. Because I do the half court and the transition stuff. That's my bag is. And half court matters so much more just because you don't get to control the transition stuff and you play mostly half court in the playoffs. The rate goes up by about 7 possessions. But the Nuggets are just boning easy buckets consistently. Now, some of this I think there's been a scouting report that's gotten out and it's just hey, Joker's going to throw a half court outlet pass every time he gets a rebound if you do not cover it. So
2 guys get back every time.
Yeah. When they face teams that are bad at that, they will destroy them because you can't survive their half court offense and give them these easy buckets. But whether, Christian, honestly, I think hasn't been good at that this year, but you can't blame this one on that for him. And and David Allen talked about it after the game. It's about the efficiency. They created opportunities in transition. It is more important to have a good per possession mark than the number that you get. That's way more important. And so that I think it was really tough. Tony says they needed CB's speed and athleticism tonight. I don't know, man. Is Peyton Watson dramatically different there?
No, but no, for sure. But it would be nice to have Peyton off the bench.
Yeah.
Where hey, you're playing Tim Hardaway as the backup 4 in a lineup that featured Jalen Pickett, Jamal Murray, Bruce Brown, and Tim Hardaway. Quite a wild lineup there.
Jalen had a good 45 seconds to start his stint, and then it was back to maybe not. I do not agree with Julian Strawther being out of the rotation.
Well, he was out tonight.
Is he have actually legit injury? I thought he was just not suited.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
he was not.
Well, that's what my question is. Was he listed on the injury report?
I thought he was.
Well,
go back and look.
You know better than I do. So I trust you.
No, I think he was listed on
out with a back injury.
He's been dealing with back pain, and clearly this was something that he it got to him tonight.
This honestly wouldn't have been a bad game for him because it's but the defense was bad. Why would him playing? Because Julian plays fast. That's why.
It's because you're not defending anyway, so might as well get some shots up and get some makes up.
Trying to think what else from this game. Aaron Gordon just continues to be amazing, just awesome. He
was great in the first 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, he came back in as the backup center against Vooch. And I thought Adelman said he thought that they did some good things. I don't really agree with that. I think that there were so many opportunities for the Bulls at the rim in that out of a lot of the small lineups that the Nuggets were playing. It's not necessarily Gordon's fault, but when you're playing small around him as well, there were so many back cuts. There were offensive rebounding opportunities. There were, it's not him. He's trying to do his thing against Vooch, and Vooch certainly didn't hurt Gordon while he was out there, but it's tough because I think that his process on the offensive end, when he is, especially in that fourth quarter, taking a lot of time getting to the jumper and getting to the pull-up jumper that's been contested, and it went in for the first couple quarters, and then like really the first 12 games of the season, they just didn't go in the fourth.
This is a little nitpicky, my man.
He was plus 18. He led the team in plus minus. It was not Aaron Gordon who was
like 24 points, 10 rebounds, plus 18, 10 of 18.
Was, especially just like he put his head down going to the basket in that third quarter. Didn't get a single call, Matt. Like it's again, talking to your point about the refs. It really was brutal watching him like get hacked out there and get to the
and I understand. Like the problem was that the Jalen Smith and one was like the one that broke the camel's back, because like I think in general they allowed a lot of contact on both ends, but they went through this period where it was like the Nuggets were forcing the issue on the inside for like 6 straight possessions. They don't call it, which okay, I'm like fine, no call, no foul, no blood, or no blood, no foul, cool. Yeah. Let him play, man. That's how I like basketball. I prefer that. But then Jalen Smith goes down and gets an and one on Joker, and you're just like,
jump straight up, like,
and that's where I'm like, help me help you, officials, because like I want to defend you, because the Nuggets shoot more free throws and they get most of these calls.
Yeah.
I want to share this before we get out of here. So I reported today over at Fansided that the Nuggets this is not Nuggets sourced. So do not, like, I am not being fed this by the front office. But I've heard from people around the league that the Nuggets have called inquiring about point guards that can shoot for a possible trade option. So that's like the thing that they're looking for, is a point guard with shooting capability, which makes sense, right? Like you want Tyus Jones is what you're really kind of looking for, is a low mistake point guard who can spot up. That's what you're kind of looking for.
Tyus Jones is probably available with the way he's playing.
He actually had a really great last 2 games. So
that's new.
So shut your mouth. And so
I would like him. He would be
Tyus Jones is a saint. So, but that was just like a name theory. That was a name that I came up with. That is not what I have no names connected to this. I do think that it's becoming apparent, because I was kind of like, well, they can probably get by. And my problem is that Adelman clearly doesn't think so. Like some of this is always like, you have to deal with how the coach feels about the roster through his rotations. And you can't have Jamal playing these minutes. You just cannot do this. Like Jamal, J.K. Walrus wants to know if maybe Steph Curry fits that bill. He is a point guard that can shoot. So that's true. That's accurate. I would warn you off of Trey Jones, Big Honey, because go look at his on-off splits with the Chicago Bulls. It's deeply concerning. So Jamal plays 38 minutes tonight, and he could too often. It's like they're doing a really good job of limiting Joker's minutes. They're doing a really good job of limiting Aaron's minutes, but like, you can't be like, we're going to run Jamal into the ground.
Well, so here's the stance that I will now take on the point guard situation. Initially, a lot of the take that we had was that Jalen Pickett would be ready to step into a role. The Nuggets have given him sporadic opportunities, not real opportunities, but like sporadic opportunities in the rotation or in garbage time to try to figure some stuff out. Things haven't really stuck. And he's in a contract year. The Nuggets are trying to figure out, like, okay, not just for the present, but for the future, what do they need on this team? And I would think that they would know if they're looking for a point guard that can shoot, it is in particular because they're not sure about Pickett. Like he should be somebody that is able to step into this spot in a regular season capacity. Like his shooting has been like he made a 3 tonight. It just doesn't really take a lot of them, doesn't really take a lot of chances. And as a result, like I think he's not necessarily somebody that they're fully bought in on for this particular role.
I mean, some of this is just, you have to deal with the operational reality. of you can be like, well, we still kind of like Pickett.
Yeah.
Okay, but your coach isn't playing him.
Yeah.
And when he plays, he doesn't do anything. And you need a point guard, or your point guard's legs are going to fall off. And that's a problem. So, Colin Gillespie. Colin's been great.
Michael Malone was right.
Colin's been great, and Colin's been really good for the Phoenix Suns.
So, like, again, for people that are thinking about moves, it's not just the 3-point shooting. It is, can you go off the dribble and hit a pull-up two? Can you run some pick and roll in just a traditional setting and not be completely useless trying to pass the ball to somebody? And can you hold up to a decent respect defensively? Those are the boxes that you're going to have to check. And like, I don't think they need anything crazy on the defensive end, but they need somebody who knows what they're doing.
They asked Russ not to take the extension, not to take the option. He probably wouldn't come back based off of that.
Yeah,
he got bought out. It's kind of interesting. Like, I'm not opposed to it.
You're like, I am not opposed to it.
Matt Moore
is
not opposed to it.
Nuggets Part 1 is not opposed to it. Ryan Blackburn knows and understands that Russell Westbrook is a good and valuable player, and the overall level of impact that he brings to a game is higher than that of a minimum contract that he would be able to sign. There's a lot of stuff that comes with it, and I think the Nuggets are okay looking elsewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we'll see if but also they could have just like called around and not found anything, because this is that time of year when everyone's like, we like our team.
You know what? Like, I know we're 4-12, but like we think we just got unlucky a little bit at the beginning.
Right. Like, you want to call teams like the Wizards, but like CJ makes too much money. And here's the other problem with this being the need. Look around the league at how many teams want this exact role. Like, if Houston goes to find somebody, guess who they want?
Yeah. they want Kyrie Irving for when he gets bought out.
Right. Like, every team is going to be looking for point guard. So it's going to be kind of tough. You should be bummed about the loss. It was a bad loss.
Correct.
You should not be despondent about, or like, are the Nuggets like frauds? Like, that's not. This was a weirdo loss.
Yeah.
One of the Warriors' loss was legit. They lost in overtime to a good team.
Yeah.
But this is the second kind of weirdo loss. And this is honestly, I think, really, this to me was like very much about Chicago. This was like a gut check win for them, because their season was spiraling. And for them to lose that game last night to Utah, Ryan, you asked this to me post game, and I thought it was such a good question. If you told Nuggets fans, hey, you're gonna go 1-1 versus the Wolves on the road and the Bulls at home, which one do you want? Don't you want the Wolves game?
Of course. If you have to choose, then you want the Wolves game.
Now, me being a sophisticate, I know that teams under 500 at home is always the better, more valuable spot. But the Wolves one does have tiebreaker implications, which is honestly what the Nuggets
in the division.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys being with us. It's late. Swipe did a show today, which you should go listen to, called Perfection. So all of us, again, much jinx today. We'll be back tomorrow night. We'll get you set for the Pelicans game. We'll look at some bigger trends. I got some lineup stuff I've been looking up. It's kind of interesting on some of the data too. We'll talk about all that more tomorrow. Have yourselves a great day. We'll see you guys again next time on Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for being an everydayer.
It's every day, bro.
I don't say bro that much. I said it tonight. It felt weird. I told somebody bro tonight. I didn't like it.